Pleased now to welcome one CEO and founder, Chatri Sityodtong. A banging night of fights, Chatri. Who impressed you the most and whose defeat surprised you?
I was most surprised by Rodrigo Morello submitting a two-time Sambo world champion. You know, I thought by far that Ruslan was going to roll through Rodrigo. That's what I was predicting. When I saw how confident Ruslan was after the face-off, he said, "I'm gonna heel hook Rodrigo," and that's especially his coach. They were super confident. Obviously, you know, a two-time Sambo world champion is obviously a submission master. So, yeah, I mean, I was shocked.
We're going to go across to our media questions now. We start with Ben Imperial from Sportskeeda.
Hello, Mr. Hi, sir. Can I ask, were you surprised by the main event decision, by the main event result, between the Pechmara?
No. I had 4 rounds to 1 for Tawanchai. It was a closer fight than I thought, but I mean, Tawanchai won rounds 1, 2, 3, and 5. And it wasn't very close, those rounds. Yes, he was getting pitter-patter punch in the face, but if you look at overall in terms of significant strikes, Tawanchai led every round, except for one round.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's how I had it. I don't know how the judges. I didn't see the judges' scorecards yet, so I have no idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
Next up, a question comes in via text from Luisa Morales of Philippine Star, who asks, following the Lumpini announcement, one delivered an incredible night of kickboxing and Muay Thai bouts. What does it say about the excitement one will bring to the stadium in 2023?
You know, this is going to be, I mean, obviously as a child, I went to Lumpini. My father took me when I was 9 years old. It's one of my favorite childhood memories. And this is going to be the biggest audience that Lumpini's ever faced. Normally, Lumpini fight nights, you know, will be broadcast in Thailand, and that's it. And we're going to be broadcast with all of our broadcast partners around the world. And you know, we're going to have we're going to have 2 cards every Friday. So one is a very Muay Thai specific card, and the other card is going to be a mini version of one. So you're going to see MMA, you're going to see grappling, you're going to see kickboxing, you're going to see Muay Thai. So one's going to have an international flavor, and the other one's going to have a more Thai flavor. And that Thai card will be broadcast live in Thailand only. Whereas the international call we broadcast live around the world. So again, next year we're going to do a minimum of 64 events. We actually have a little bit more than that planned. A minimum of 64 events, and so this will be a record high number of events for one next year. I think this year we're going to do 22, if I'm not mistaken, around there, 22, 24 this year.
Next up is Vincent Richards from Sportskeeda. Vincent, your mic is open.
All right. Hi, Mr. Chatri. We just signed a new broadcasting deal with beIN Sports. How will this change the game for one championship, especially in the Middle East and in Northern Africa?
No, this is massive. beIN is one of the largest broadcasters of sports. You know, in the last few years, they've been the biggest payer of media rights for sports in general, all over the world, right? With their soccer, especially. And beIN is going to be broadcasting us live in 24 territories in the Middle East. Of course, you know, Qatar Investment Authority, the sovereign wealth fund of Qatar, the country of Qatar, is a shareholder in one. You know, we are making a big push into the Middle East, but you know, we want to spread our wings all over the Middle East. You know, I have been traveling to you know, all the various countries in the Middle East, and I see a ton of talent. But we've seen our numbers. You know, our organic numbers across digital and social are exploding in the US, exploding in the Middle East, exploding in Latin America, and Europe, actually. So we're just seeing tremendous growth. And so, again, next year is going to be the biggest year in the history of the company.
All right, Mr. Chatri, I have one more question. Global fans, the MMA fans, are wondering when Roberto Soldic will make his debut, and when will we see him inside the One Circle?
You are going to see. We're going to announce it actually on Prime Video 2. So on Saturday morning Singapore time, Friday night prime time in the US, we will announce Roberto Soldic's debut and his opponent. So stay tuned because it's going to be awesome. And obviously Roberto is the hottest free agent in the last several years, and it's going to be an incredible barn burner of a fight. That's what I'll tell you.
Thanks, Vince. We go now across to Nick Atkin of South China Morning Post. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Tawanchai has just stepped in here, so I'll be brief. I'm still at the arena, but I just want to ask Chatri if you have any update about Superbon. He didn't come to the weigh-ins, and I heard he hadn't been medically cleared, and neither had Jamal Yusupov. Do you know if that title fight will still be on Saturday?
No, I don't know if I'm supposed to say actually, but no, I'll just say it anyway. Superbon's fight he's pulled out. He messaged me this afternoon. He's sick as a dog, and he just can't. But he wants to fight next month in KL. So most likely, subject to the makeup bout that's going to happen. I think makeup bout is, if I'm not mistaken, is Tayfun versus shucks, I'm blanking here. Tayfun versus on Saturday. Just too many things in my head. But anyways, Tayfun's fighting. He's fighting Murat Grigorian on Saturday. And the winner of that, I think, will fight Superbon next month. Or Chingiz, if Chingiz back is good. So we're going to offer the fight to Chingiz, who's the rightful title contender. But if Tayfun beats Murat, then I think that's also up for grabs, or who knows, a Murat rematch. Superbon just messaged me. He really wants to fight next month, no matter what.
Thanks, Nick. We're going to go across then to Jeffrey Hu. Jeffrey, your mic is open.
The UFC also has been airing some of their fights on, like, say, ABC, like American channels that don't need like some sort of like paid subscription. Are you planning on doing something similar with One Championship, as in having the events broadcasted like on like a non-subscription like American channel? Like,
so right now Amazon is our primary partner. Obviously they have 200 million subscribers, Amazon Prime, and they are putting us obviously prime time on Fridays at 8 p.m. It's a match made in heaven. But again, I'm telling you, it's the very beginning of the relationship. We do intend to have more events on ground in the US. We do intend to have more primetime shows on air in the US. I can't talk about all of our plans. I can just tell you that 12 Amazon Prime video events right now is just the very, very beginning of what we have planned for the US for one. So we can't see more events. We can't see more shows. Yeah, I mean, just, yeah. But I mean, we're in multiple discussions all the times and around the world. I think we're announcing a few major broadcast deals, I think, in the coming weeks as well. Not necessarily in the US, but around the world.
Some exciting announcements. On that note, we have a question coming in via text from Tessa Jasmines of Business World, who asks, how long do you think it'll be before one elevates submission grappling to the same level of popularity as MMA?
I really, truly, like I said, one is the world's largest martial arts organization. We have obviously Muay Thai and kickboxing and mixed martial arts and submission grappling. We've done even boxing before, as you guys know, world title fights. We've done Lutway before. And for me, it's always about growing our platform, the number of countries that are broadcast around the world, the number of events around the world that we're doing, right? Again, as at the minimum of 64 events, we'll probably do, again, our internal plans are higher than that, but again, for public person, I just a minimum 64. So there's tons of opportunity for a standalone grappling event, but when we launched One Super Series, I think 4 years ago, we launched One Super Series, maybe 5 years ago. We had plans that it would be number one in the world, right, in terms of striking. And it happened within, 12 months, we became the number one striking league in the world, full stop, right, in terms of just the level of talent, world championship striking for Muay Thai and for kickboxing. And I fully expect to see that with grappling. We have the know-how. Our platform is really big, and we just know how to develop different martial arts and showcase it to the world. So it's super exciting. And it comes down to values, heroes, and stories. At the end of the day, people watch as long as they're the best in the world, which, as you guys know, I say over and over, as a lifelong martial artist, looking at a critical eye, my whole thing the last 10 years was to get the very best world championship martial artists on the planet on a single platform. And we have 170 athletes on our roster who have won world titles at the highest levels in the world, across a plethora of martial arts. And no other global organization comes even close to the caliber of world championship talent on our roster. And so people want to watch the best in the world go at it. And whether it's mixed martial arts or whether it's kickboxing or Muay Thai or grappling or boxing, whatever it is, people want to see. As long as you tell the stories, as long as you give people a reason to care. One person might be fighting because his mom is dying of cancer and he he has to pay for everything, or one might be because he's an orphan and he wants to build an orphanage, whatever the story is, and that's the big difference between us and the other two major global organizations. Is we really try to write stories with authenticity of our heroes, as opposed to pushing and shoving and insulting religions and hatred and anger and controversy just to sell a pay-per-view, right? That's just not our MO. Our MO is, let's tell real stories that inspire entire countries, that inspire the world.
We're going to go back across the South China Morning Post with Nick Atkin. Hi, Nick.
Yeah. Hey, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, Nick, I can hear you.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to obviously get your thoughts, Chatri, on there was some big news we had a couple weeks ago that Eddie Alvarez had left the company, and it was an amicable departure. Can you just give us any more information on why you guys decided to part ways and what happened?
Every relationship in life, both sides have to win. And if both sides are not winning, then, it makes sense to part ways. I really am grateful for Eddie for his time here. And he's grateful as well. And again, I have a good relationship with him. But I think both of us were caught by surprise with the pandemic. It obviously delayed the US launch of ONE into the US by at least 2 years, right? So I think Eddie was, and so we were hoping that Eddie could help us in the US and launch and whatnot. I'd say, Eddie realizes his clock is ticking. I think he's like 39 years old or something like that. Yeah. So again, it's amicable. It was just, we both agreed that, we weren't getting what we wanted and Eddie wasn't getting what he wanted. So why continue the relationship? Again, business relationship, right? Well, obviously I have nothing but love and respect for Eddie. He's an incredible athlete, a legend of the sport. He is an awesome human being. I have nothing but, again, good things to say about Eddie.
Cheers, Nick. Next up, it's SG Strike Sports. Your mic is open.
I think he's on mute.
Can we unmute SG Strike Sports?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, I just want to know your thoughts on Segit as a threat to Christian Lee after his performance and whether it would be deserving of a shot at the belt.
When I talked to Khabib said this is his best 170 pounder on the team at Eagles. That Segit is the best 170 when we were signing him. And I believe Khabib, he's a man of his word. And that's why I signed Segit on the word of Khabib. But I also believe that Christian Lee is the best lightweight on the planet. So I think if they ever meet, it's going to be an incredible all-out war for the fans, right? So yeah, I mean, let's see how everything unfolds. But I'm excited. I'm excited at the potential. I do believe they'll probably end up meeting. I just don't see how they don't. But there's still a few more fights we got to make.
Okay, thank you very much.
Next question is via text from Sanuk Kun Wirasak, who asks, do you see Tawanchai as an athlete who'll someday be as highly regarded as legends like Nong O and Rod Tang?
Yeah, I had a quick chat with Tawanchai. He has a talent. He's a generational talent. He reminds me of Samad Pekarun, except he hits harder than Samad Pekarun, who's obviously regarded as the greatest of all time in Muay Thai. He's faster, he moves in similar ways, but he's much more powerful. And he has unbelievable eyes. He can see things happen as they unfold way before they unfold. So that's why he rarely gets hit, right, with a solid shot. And so I talked to him just very briefly as he was walking out of the cage, and he was thanking me, and I just said, hey, you can become a legend if you just stay humble and you work hard. And he just said, yes, sure, I'm going to work really hard to defend this, and this is my dream, and I will be humble. So you never know how, you've seen this all over the world, what the big money and fame does to an athlete, especially in combat sports. We've seen it over and over, right? Where you used to be the best, you're hungry lion coming up, and then you make a lot of money and you become famous and you lose your way. That might happen. But if Tawanchai can stay focused, if he can stay hungry, I think when all is said and done, next 5-10 years, he will go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time.
Another text question this time.
Yeah, he has that talent.
Our next question comes from Randolph Leongson of spin.ph, who asks, Roman looked incredible, but now has to face the last man to beat him. How exciting does that make the final of the heavyweight Grand Prix with such an enticing storyline built in?
It's gonna be awesome. Like, I was shocked at how Roman just destroyed Guto. Although I thought it was an early stoppage. The funny thing is, I think the punch, Guto was basically out, unconscious virtually. He barely gets up and he gets kicked in the head. It's a clean head kick, but that woke him up and he was ready to go again. It's funny. Just one of those things. And the ref stepped in. I thought the ref should have let it go because clearly Guto, he woke up. But I think Roman versus Iraj is going to be a barn burner. I just sense it. I think Roman is going to come in and try to do the same thing he did to Guto. I think Roman is going to come in and try to finish Iraj in one round. There's no doubt Roman is the greatest light heavyweight striker on the planet now. Nobody can, 6'7", and he hits like a truck. And he moves well, and he just unbelievable.
Beautiful night of martial arts. It all leads up very nicely to the weekend. What can fans expect from Prime Video 2?
Like I said in the press conference, it's going to be, I predict, bigger, badder, and bolder than anything. I think the finish rate is going to be insane, off the charts. I'm super excited for the main event, Angeli versus Jingnan. That is, well, you guys saw the first one, first two fights. I think the third fight's going to be the same. It's going to be a barn burner back and forth, and somebody's going to get finished in the fourth or fifth. That's what I predict. It's a 50-50 fight, because there's so many variables, but it's just like the first two were super close. But I think, the card is stacked from top to bottom. It's just I'm super excited. I think tonight was an appetizer. The main course is going to be Saturday morning, Singapore time, Friday night, prime time in the US.
And the final question coming from Thai media, MGR Online, Kun Nedipong, who asks, any message on both Thai athletes, Pet Moricott and Tawanchai?
I love the fact that in one, you can have a 5-round war, literally from the very first second to the last second. This is what Muay Thai was 35, 40 years ago, in the peak of Muay Thai. And we don't get to see that in Thailand anymore. And so I congratulate Pet Moricott and Tawanchai for going all out for 100% for all rounds, and bringing back honor and glory of the heydays of Muay Thai on the world's largest stage of martial arts. So I'm very grateful to both Pet Moricott and Tawanchai. They brought the heat, they brought the fire, they put 100% into their training camp. They gave everything they could in the fight. And it was an absolute war. And my phone was buzzing off the hook, it was just ringing and ringing, buzzing and buzzing from all my friends around the world who are watching in the Muay Thai community, saying it was the greatest fight they'd seen in decades. It was just an absolute war. So Thank you, Pet Morokot. Thank you, Tawanchai, for making history and for showing the world the beauty of Muay Thai.
Beautiful fight. Fantastic way to round off the evening. Chatri, thanks for joining us. We look forward to Saturday.
Thank you. See you guys.